Thulani Ngcobo, better known as hip-hop artist Pitch Black Afro, will appear in court today.
He's been accused of murdering his wife. It was reported that Modisane died at a B&B in Johannesburg following an argument with the rapper on the 30th of December.
On August 23, 2023, news broke out that a multi-platinum selling South African artist, Pitch Black Afro, had been released from jail just 3 years after being convicted of a brutal murder that shocked the nation. Thulani Ngcobo, also known as Pitch Black Afro, was a prominent figure in the South African music scene, particularly in the genres of Kwaito and hip-hop. Born in the vibrant township of Soweto in 1979, Thulani found his passion for rapping at an early age. He had a unique challenge: he stuttered when he spoke. However, through the rhythm of his verses, he discovered a way to overcome his stutter and express himself fluently. The artist's distinctive style drew inspiration from American MCs like Redman, and he seamlessly blended English, Zulu, and various other languages in his lyrics. Notably, Thulani's stage presence was accentuated by his signature Afro wig, making him easily recognizable on the stage and in the streets of South Africa. Pitch Black Afro's journey to fame began on the lively club circuit, where he often performed alongside groups like the Native Hearts All-Stars. However, it was DJ Cleo who recognized his potential and took him under his wing. Cleo's mentorship culminated in Pitch Black Afro's debut album, Styling Gel, which was released in 2004. This album, featuring hit tracks like Pitch Black Afro and A Day in My Life, soared to remarkable heights. In fact, it achieved an unprecedented feat, becoming the best-selling African hip-hop album of its time, selling over 50,000 copies in South Africa alone. Buoyed by his initial success, Pitch Black Afro continued to make waves in the music industry. His second album, Split Ends, released in 2006, further solidified his place as a leading figure in the South African music scene. As his star was on the rise, an ominous incident cast a shadow over his career. In 2006, Pitch Black Afro faced allegations of assaulting a fan and causing property damage at a Johannesburg mall. Although this was a troubling event, it was a mere foreshadowing of the darker events that would unfold years later. Fast forward to December 30, 2018, a day that would forever alter the trajectory of Pitch Black Afro's life. On this fateful day at a bed and breakfast in Yeoville, Thulani's wife, Modisane, lost her life under tragic circumstances. Her death sent shockwaves through the nation and brought Pitch Black Afro under intense scrutiny. Thulani and Catherine were allegedly drinking alcohol on December 30th at their friend Herbert Moajila's place in Yeoville. The singer left and returned to the bed and breakfast the couple had booked, and was later followed by Catherine. Catherine left the bed and breakfast and apparently went back to rejoin Moajila and friends to have more fun, returning to the bed and breakfast in the wee hours where her final moments unfolded. On New Year's Eve 2018, Catherine's lifeless body was found at the bed and breakfast. Pitch Black was arrested and charged with premeditated murder of his wife and defeating the ends of justice. The prosecution claimed that Thulani had brutally murdered his wife by bashing her head against a wall. This shocking revelation painted a stark contrast to the artist's public persona, leaving fans and the public grappling with a chilling reality. The subsequent trial would uncover a complex and disturbing narrative surrounding the events that transpired that night. The trial revealed that Catherine had suffered severe head injuries inflicted by a blunt object. Pathologist Robert Ingwude's testimony highlighted the extent of her injuries, which included not only head trauma but also bruises on her thighs, hands, fingers, and a black eye. The evidence presented in the courtroom painted a grim picture of the events leading to her tragic demise. The musician allegedly concealed evidence from the police and wiped the blood from the scene with a towel, which he then hid from police and paramedics. Thulani also allegedly put a sanitary pad on the victim's private parts, claiming that the blood found at the murder scene came from her menstruation. The state pathologist refuted the musician's version by finding that Catherine was not on her period at the time of her untimely death. During the trial, Pitch Black Afro's defense team presented an alternative narrative. They claimed that both Thulani and Catherine had been heavily intoxicated during the altercation that led to her death. Thulani stated that he had consumed over a liter of vodka and cannabis, while Catherine had also consumed alcohol and cannabis. This version of events suggested a chaotic and volatile environment that further complicated the legal proceedings. The trial took an even more perplexing turn when it was revealed that Thulani had initially confessed to the murder but later retracted his statement, alleging that he had been coerced and assaulted by police officers. The court proceedings delved into a trial within a trial, focusing on the admissibility of Thulani's confession. He claimed that the police officers had threatened to tear his insurance papers, preventing him from properly burying his wife if he didn't confess. The twists and turns of the trial captured the nation's attention, stirring debates about justice, mental state, and gender-based violence. As the trial reached its conclusion, the judge delivered a verdict that left many pondering the complexities of the case. In June 2020, Thulani was sentenced to 10 years in prison for culpable homicide. He was found not guilty of defeating the ends of justice and premeditated murder. The lenient judge suspended half of his sentence on condition that he was not found guilty of a similar offense. Despite the conviction of culpable homicide, the judge claimed he couldn't definitively rule out the possibility that he had intentionally caused his wife's death, given the intoxicated state of both individuals. On August 18, 2023, merely 3 years after his sentencing, Pitch Black Afro was released from prison. The Department of Correctional Services confirmed that Thulani had been released after him and other inmates benefited from the special remission of sentence. Needless to say, it is baffling that culpable homicide is among the offenses covered by the special remission of sentences, which is supposed to be reserved for inmates that have committed non-violent crimes. My heart goes out to the victim and her family. It can be easy seeing your loved one's murder reduced to just 3 years of incarceration. Needless to say, the punishment doesn't fit the crime.